Okay, so the Americans have 70 IPCs to spend. They have 50 IPCs worth of territory. But according to the BBR rules, they get an extra 20 IPCs at the start of the game. So they spent 5 IPCs to get their tech, which is revealed now. It's the same as the Japanese. They have improved shipyards. They will be saving 1 IPC. On the Pacific side of the board, they will be building for 13 a carrier. For 12, that's 5 for the transport and 7 for the destroyer, for 12 there. 23, this is the Atlantic side of the board, 23 for a carrier and a fighter, 6 for 2 infantry, and 10 for 2 transports. This was the mistake I made with the Japanese turn, but I fixed it right at the end of the Japanese turn. In terms of attacks, there is actually only 1 attack. Well, 2 technically, because we have to clear a sea zone and then do an amphibious. So what is going to be happening is sea zone 31 will be attacked with the following. The bomber from the Western United States, the battleship, cruiser, destroyer, and submarine from Sea Zone 10, the cruiser from Sea Zone 12, and the 2 planes on the carrier from Sea Zone 28. In addition, the fighter from Midway and the fighter from Hawaii will be participating in the attack as well. Assuming the sea zone gets cleared, a boat from 26 will take an infantry from Hawaii, pick up an infantry from Johnston, and land in Wake. The 2 transports from Sea Zone 10 will load up an infantry each, and then one of them will have a tank and one of them will have an artillery piece. So if the sea zone is cleared, the amphibious assault will continue. If the sea zone is not cleared, they will have to be forced to retreat to Hawaii. So let's roll some dice. Okay, we almost forgot about China. China has 12 IPCs. They'll be buying 4 infantry, and they're only declaring one attack this turn. They're going to attack Yunnan. They're going to come in with 2 infantry, an artillery, 2 infantry, cavalry, and a fighter from Sichuan, and 2 cavalry from Shenxi. So we'll roll that attack as well. Okay, this is the attack on Sea Zone 31 in preparation for the amphibious assault on Wake Island. The 3 transport ships, the SS William S. Ladd, the SS John H. Couch, and the SS Brown Victory are waiting to disembark once the sea zone is cleared. The Americans are attacking with a strategic bomber, the USS Meade, which is a destroyer, the SS 306 Tang, which is a submarine, which will get a first shot, 2 fighters from 2 different air bases, and a fighter and attack bomber from the carrier, the USS Lexington, which is obviously in another sea zone, the 2 cruisers, the USS Augusta and the USS Indianapolis, and the battleship, the USS Washington. They are attacking the damaged carrier Akagi, the carriers Hiryu and Kaga, and the battleship Yamashiro. The 2 carriers that were not damaged had 2 fighters and a tactical bomber on board. Now the Yamashiro as a battleship is going to get to attack the planes that are coming into the attack. And it hit 1. So we will lose 1 of the fighters. So we'll put that up there and we will not get to roll that. Alright, the submarine does get a chance to fire first. It doesn't get to fire before the AA guns, but what it does do, I'm going to target the battleship. If it hits the battleship does not get to defend on 4 because this is the first strike kind of thing. And it missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so 2 twos for the strat bomber, a 2 for the destroyer, two threes for the fighter, 2 threes for the cruisers, a 4 for the battleship, and a 4 for the tactical bomber. Whoa, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hate to do this. 7, 8. Okay, I'll kill all of those. Wow, that was a great first roll. Okay, Japanese still get to defend. A 1 for the damaged carrier, 2 twos for the undamaged carrier, a 3 for the tactical bomber, a 4 for the battleship, and actually I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to damage the battleship. So these guys are all dead. So I'll damage the battleship for next turn. And then 2 force for the fighter. 2, 4. Okay. Well, we'll get rid of the sub and the destroyer. We'll get rid of 1 of the cruisers, and we'll get rid of 1 of the fighters. Okay, so this guy's flown away. So we got that, that, and that. Okay, so the only things left are a damaged battleship and a fighter. So we have 1 for the fighter, 1 for the cruiser, 1 for the battleship, and 1 for the tac bomber. 2 hits, that's all that's left. So damaged battleship and a fighter. 2 hits, wow, okay. I guess I'll kill the planes and leave the battleship undamaged. Okay, that's the battle. The amphibious assault will commence next turn, or next video. Okay, this is the amphibious assault on Wake. The SS William S. Ladd is dropping off 2 infantry. The SS Brown Victory is dropping off an infantry and a tank. And the SS John H. Couch is dropping off an infantry and an artillery. The Japanese are defending with a strategic bomber and an infantry. So that's 3 1s, 2 2s, and a 3. No hits. Wow. 1 hit. 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3. 1 hit. Strat bomber goes bye-bye. 1 hit. 3 hits. There's the hits. Okay. And that's it. So United States loses 2 infantry, but takes the island. Okay, the attack on Yunnan. 2 infantry, 3 cavalry, and a fighter against 5 infantry and 2 artillery. We may be retreating from this if it goes badly. 2 1s, 3 2s, and a 3. 2 hits. Okay, 7 2s. 1 hit. Okay, good start. Two hits. One hit. This is going very, very well for the Chinese. They'll press the attack. Two hits. Two hits. One more. One hit. Miss. So they do take the territory with one cavalry left over, and their plane is free to fly away. Okay, non-combat moves for the Americans. They're going to use their strategic bomber as a air transport. They're going to pick up 2 infantry from the eastern United States, and they're going to drop them in Gibraltar, and the plane will land there as well. The fighter from Washington will also go to Gibraltar, as will one of the 2 transports. It's going to load up with an infantry and a tank and land in Gibraltar. The other transport is going to take 1 artillery and go down to C-Zone 86 and claim Brazil for the Americans and activate those troops there. On the Pacific side of the board, the bomber that participated in the attack on C-Zone 31 is going to land back in Hawaii. And 1 plane from Western United States is going to go to Hawaii, and the other 2 planes are going to land on the carrier from C-Zone 28 that's going to come in and dock at C-Zone 26. I think that's all the U.S. movement. In terms of China, they only have 2 moves. The 2 infantry in Shanxi are going to move to Sichuan, and the fighter plane is going to land in Sichuan. Okay, placement of new units. Their new carrier, along with a fighter plane, is going to go in C-Zone 101. Their 2 new transports are going to go in C-Zone 101, and their 2 new infantry are going to go in C-Zone 101. In terms of on the Pacific side, there's 3 naval units to be placed, a new carrier, a new transport, and a destroyer. The Chinese are going to put 3 of their 4 new infantry in Sichuan, and they're going to put 1 of their new infantry in Suiyuan. Okay, the only adjustments that need to be made is China gets Yunnan back for +1, and the United States gets Brazil for +2. So if we change the income chart, this is what it's going to look like. The United States is going to go up from 50 to 52. China is going to go up from 8 to 9. And Japan is going to go down from 58 to 57. Okay. So China has a base income of 9 IPCs. They do not get their national objective because even though they took back Yunnan, the Burma Road is still closed because Burma is taken. So they're going to get 9 IPCs to put in their treasury. The Americans have a base income of 52. They did save 1 IPC. They get 10 IPCs for building at least 2 units in the eastern and the western United States. They get 5 IPCs for having most of their Pacific islands. The only one they don't have is Wake, and that doesn't count, I don't think. Let me just check. No, it doesn't. It's the ones that are a little bit closer to home. And then they get another 5 IPCs for all the Central American territories that they have. Oh, one last little adjustment over here. Obviously, Wake is no longer Japanese, so we take this away. Okay, so let's do disposition of forces. The income for the Americans then is 52, 53, 60, 73 IPCs are going to go into the American coffer for next turn. 73 IPCs. Okay, disposition of forces. The Chinese are the easiest, so we'll do those first. 1 infantry in Suiyuan, 5 infantry in Sichuan, and 1 fighter in Sichuan. There's also a cavalry in Yunnan by itself. Okay, United States. Start in the Pacific. 1 infantry in Alaska, 4 infantry in the Western United States, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 anti-aircraft. In C-Zone 10, 1 empty carrier, 1 transport, 1 destroyer. In C-Zone 26, 1 fully loaded carrier with a fighter and attack bomber. In Hawaii, 1 strat bomber, 1 fighter, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, and 1 infantry. In Midway, 1 infantry. In Wake, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 tank. In C-Zone 31, 3 transports, 1 cruiser, and 1 battleship. In the Atlantic, in Gibraltar, we have 3 infantry, 1 tank, 1 fighter, and 1 strategic bomber. That is currently an air transport. In C-Zone 91, we have 1 transport and 1 destroyer. In C-Zone 86, there is a transport. In Brazil, there are 3 infantry and 1 artillery. In C-Zone 101, there is a carrier with 1 fighter on it and 2 transports. In Washington, in the eastern United States, there are 2 infantry, 2 mechanized infantry, and 1 artillery. That should be that. Okay, so Germany's up next. Let's see what Germany does first.